Fashion. It's a powerful force. It tells a story without words. Throughout history, people have used clothing and accessories to express themselves. Fashion reflects our values, our beliefs, and our place in the world. From the animal skins of our ancestors to the haute couture runways of today, fashion is a fascinating journey through time. Let's take a trip, shall we? We'll explore how fashion evolved. We'll see how different cultures influenced style. And we'll discover how fashion continues to shape our world today. Are you ready? Let's go. In the beginning, clothing served a basic need: protection. Early humans wore animal skins and furs. These natural materials shielded them from the elements. As civilizations developed, so did their clothing. People learned to weave natural fibers like flax and wool. This led to the creation of fabrics like linen and wool cloth. In ancient Egypt, linen was the fabric of choice. It was cool, comfortable, and perfect for the hot climate. Egyptians took pride in their appearance. They adorned themselves with jewelry, cosmetics, and elaborate hairstyles. Can you believe they even had wigs back then? The ancient Greeks and Romans also valued beauty and style. Greek fashion favored flowing garments like the chiton and toga. These garments were often made of white linen and draped gracefully on the body. Roman clothing was more structured. The toga, a symbol of Roman citizenship, was a large semicircular piece of wool. Both cultures used clothing to denote status and power. Elaborate jewelry, rich fabrics, and vibrant colors were reserved for the elite. These fashions tell us a lot about their social structures. It's fascinating. The Middle Ages brought about a shift in fashion. With the rise of Christianity, modesty became paramount. Clothing covered most of the body and silhouettes were long and flowing. Wool and linen remained the primary fabrics, but silk, a luxurious import from the East, was highly prized. Social hierarchy was reflected in clothing. Nobles wore elaborate garments with intricate embroidery and embellishments. Peasants wore simpler clothing made from coarser fabrics. Fashion may have been more restrained, but it still played a key role in medieval society. Section 5. Renaissance Revolution, Birth of Extravagance. The Renaissance marked a period of great artistic and cultural change. This was reflected in fashion. Gone were the drab colors and simple silhouettes of the Middle Ages. The Renaissance embraced opulence and extravagance. Rich colors, luxurious fabrics, and elaborate ornamentation were all the rage. The silhouette became more fitted, with emphasis placed on the waistline. Men and women alike adorned themselves with jewelry, feathers, and other embellishments. This era was all about showing off. It was a time of rebirth and a celebration of beauty. Section 6. Enlightenment and Empire Fashion in the 18th century. The 18th century was a period of significant transformation, not just in the realms of politics and philosophy, but also in the world of fashion. The clothing of this era reflected the broader cultural shifts and the changing ideals of society. The 18th century was a time of intellectual and social upheaval. The Enlightenment, a movement that emphasized reason, science, and individualism, played a crucial role in shaping the cultural landscape of the time. This intellectual revolution had a profound impact on various aspects of life, including fashion. The Enlightenment emphasized reason and individuality. Thinkers like Voltaire, Rousseau, and Kant challenged traditional norms and encouraged people to think for themselves. This newfound emphasis on individual expression and rationality began to influence the way people dressed, leading to more personalized and varied styles. These ideas found expression in fashion. Clothing became a medium through which people could express their individuality and intellectual alignment. The elaborate and ornate styles of the previous century began to give way to more refined and elegant designs that reflected the Enlightenment ideals of simplicity and clarity. For women, the Rococo style emerged. This fashion trend was characterized by its intricate designs and elaborate decorations, which mirrored the artistic movement of the same name. Rococo fashion was all about grace, elegance, and a certain lightness that contrasted with the heavier styles of the past. This style featured soft colors, delicate fabrics, and a graceful feminine silhouette. Pastel shades, floral patterns, and light, airy materials were commonly used to create a look that was both sophisticated and whimsical. The emphasis was on creating a sense of effortless beauty and refinement. Men's fashion also underwent a transformation. The influence of the Enlightenment led to a shift towards more practical and understated clothing. While still maintaining a sense of elegance, men's attire became more functional and less ostentatious. The frock coat with its fitted waist and full skirts became popular. This garment was both stylish and practical, allowing for greater ease of movement while still presenting a polished appearance. The frock coat became a staple in men's wardrobes, symbolizing the blend of form and function. Wigs and powdered hair were still in vogue. These accessories were essential for achieving the fashionable look of the time. Wigs, often made from human or horse hair, were styled in elaborate ways and powdered to give them a distinctive white or gray appearance. This trend was a holdover from the previous century but continued to be popular throughout the 18th century. This era saw the rise of fashion magazines. These publications played a crucial role in disseminating the latest trends and styles. They provided detailed illustrations and descriptions of fashionable clothing, making it easier for people to stay up to date with the ever-changing world of fashion. These publications spread fashion trends across Europe and its colonies. Fashion magazines became an essential tool for the fashion-conscious, allowing trends to travel quickly and reach a wider audience. This helped to create a more unified sense of style across different regions. Fashion was becoming more accessible to the masses. The rise of fashion magazines, along with advancements in textile production and distribution, meant that fashionable clothing was no longer the exclusive domain of the elite. More people could now participate in the world of fashion, leading to a democratization of style and a broader cultural impact. Section 7. The Victorian Era. Fashion's focus on silhouette. The Victorian era was a time of great industrial and economic growth. The rapid advancements in technology and industry transformed the landscape of society, bringing about significant changes in daily life and culture. It was also a time of strict social mores. The rigid class structure and moral codes dictated behavior and appearance, influencing every aspect of life, including fashion. Women's fashion reflected these values. The clothing of the time was designed to emphasize modesty and propriety, adhering to the societal expectations placed upon women. The silhouette was defined by a tightly corseted waist, a full skirt, and long flowing hair. The corset was an essential garment shaping the body to fit the idealized form of the era. Modesty was paramount, with high necklines. Dresses often featured intricate lace and embroidery, adding a touch of elegance while maintaining a conservative appearance, and long sleeves the norm. These elements combined to create a look that was both refined and demure, reflecting the values of the time. Men's fashion remained relatively unchanged from the previous century. The focus was on practicality and understated elegance, with an emphasis on well-tailored garments. The frock coat continued to be a staple of the male wardrobe. This long, fitted coat was often worn over a waistcoat and trousers, creating a polished and sophisticated look. However, the Industrial Revolution led to the mass production of clothing. Advances in manufacturing techniques and the rise of factories meant that clothing could be produced more quickly and affordably than ever before. This made fashion more accessible to the middle class. For the first time, people from various social strata could afford to dress in the latest styles, bridging the gap between the wealthy and the working class. The democratization of fashion during the Victorian era marked a significant shift in the way people viewed and consumed clothing, setting the stage for the modern fashion industry. Section 8. The 20th Century. A century of fashion upheaval. This era was marked by dramatic shifts in style, reflecting the broader changes in society. The 20th century was a time of unprecedented change. From the bustling cities to the quiet countryside, fashion evolved rapidly, mirroring the dynamic transformations in technology, culture, and politics. 2 world wars, technological advancements, and social revolutions had a profound impact on fashion. The wars necessitated practical and durable clothing, while technological advancements introduced new materials and manufacturing techniques. The early 20th century saw the rise of haute couture. Paris became the epicenter of high fashion, with designers pushing the boundaries of creativity and luxury. Designers like Coco Chanel and Paul Poiret revolutionized women's fashion. Chanel's simple yet elegant designs and Poiret's bold, exotic styles broke away from the restrictive clothing of the past. They introduced more comfortable and practical clothing. Chanel's use of jersey fabric and Poiret's abandonment of the corset allowed women greater freedom of movement. The flapper dress with its dropped waistline and short hemline became a symbol of the roaring 20s. This era celebrated youth and freedom, and the flapper dress was perfect for the energetic dances and lively parties of the time. The mid-century saw the rise of ready-to-wear fashion. As mass production techniques improved, stylish clothing became more accessible to the general public, democratizing fashion. Designers like Christian Dior and Cristobal Balenciaga created iconic looks that are still influential today. Dior's new look with its cinched waist and full skirt, and Balenciaga's innovative silhouettes set the tone for mid-century elegance and continue to inspire modern designers. Section 9. The birth of fast fashion. The latter part of the 20th century saw the rise of fast fashion. This phenomenon was driven by globalization, technological advancements, and the increasing demand for affordable clothing. Fast fashion brands offered trendy clothing at low prices. This made fashion more accessible than ever before. However, fast fashion has also been criticized for its environmental and social impact. The production of cheap clothing often comes at a high cost to the environment and to garment workers. Section 10. Fashion Today, a Global Tapestry. Fashion today is a global tapestry. Trends emerge from all corners of the world. Social media plays a major role in disseminating these trends. Designers are experimenting with new materials, technologies, and silhouettes. Sustainability is becoming increasingly important. Many designers are embracing eco-friendly practices and materials. Inclusivity is another important trend in fashion today. Designers are creating clothing for people of all shapes, sizes, and backgrounds. Fashion is becoming more democratic and representative of our diverse world. Section 11. Conclusion. Fashion's never-ending story. From the animal skins of our ancestors to the haute couture runways of today, fashion has been a constant presence throughout history. It reflects our values, our beliefs, and our place in the world. Fashion is a never-ending story. It's a cycle of reinvention and reinterpretation. What will the future of fashion hold? One thing is certain. It will continue to evolve and reflect the changing world around us. And that, my friends, is what makes fashion so exciting.